Why does the US government have 1.4 billion pounds of cheese stored in a cave underneath Springfield, Missouri? So it says here, have you heard of government cheese before? No, it isn't money, but actually cheese. 1.4 billion pounds, to be exact, stored in a cave in Missouri. According to the Washington Post, the US has the largest domestic reserve of cheese of all varieties, including cheddar, Swiss, and American. I mean, why are you guys so obsessed with shit cheese when you have this much good cheese? So you may wonder why the government had a massive cheese stockpile. Well, it started in the 1970s during former President Jimmy Carter's era and his promise of giving farmers a break. He wanted to raise the price of milk, but the government couldn't just buy milk and store it. So it started buying as much cheese as possible, much cheese as people wanted to sell, according to Pacific Standard magazine. But now, farmers were producing way too much cheese, leading to the ultimate question: what should the government do with all the cheddar? To tackle this, former President Ronald Reagan started food assistance programs to distribute 30 million pounds of cheese. People talk about food assistance programs as if they're created to help out poor people, said Andrew Novakovic, professor of agricultural economics at Cornell University, per NBC. Yeah, that's true, but almost all of the major food assistance programs were ideas that came from agriculture because we had too much of something. In the 1990s, the government also started making deals with fast food restaurants to help sell the surplus. The National Dairy Promotion Board, a semi-public marketing branch, was also created, which created campaigns like Got Milk and a range of popular fast food menu items like Domino's 7 Cheese Pizza or Taco Bell's very cheesy Quesalupa, according to Uber. The 1.4 billion pounds of cheese still exists in cold storage holdings, but is no longer completely owned by the government, but by private companies. Precious little cheese is owned by the government, Stevenson said. Okay. We used to have a program in place where the government would buy some storable dairy products. In a very specific kind of style of cheese was one of those items, but those programs became completely sidelined back in the 1980s. The problem of overproduced cheese stayed consistent throughout the years. With lower dairy consumption, the government offered again to buy more cheese, worth 20 million in 2016, according to Vox. The Department of Agriculture has not stopped buying just yet. In August of last year, the agency announced the Cheese Purchase Program to buy mozzarella, processed and natural American cheddar cheese for the National School Lunch Program and other federal food nutrition assistance programs. According to The Guardian, it's safe to say that American dairy farmers will continue to look for a way to offload their cheese supplies as the demand for it decreases with a rise in veganism and sustainable eating. Them goddamn vegans, they're ruining the cheese business. But I just think this is fucking crazy. Old fucking Ronald Reagan running around America buying up all the cheese and storing it in a cave like it's some sort of fucking cursed Skyrim run, where they fill up their house with cheese wheels. Fucking, that's where it came from. It's a Skyrim Reagan run. That's all it is. Look at all that fucking cheese!
Within the cave are thousands of red, orange, and yellow barrels lining the floor, each one weighing 680 pounds and filled to the brim with dairy products.
That's all fucking cheese. Texas? No, Missouri.
These limestone
Springfield, Missouri.
caves in Springfield, Missouri are home to the United States' largest stockpile of its 1.4 billion pounds. The government had no idea what to do with all that cheese.
What do I do with all this cheese? So that meme, why can't I hold all this cheese?
Probably the cheapest and most practical thing to do would be to dump it into the ocean.
To dump it into the ocean. Just, you know, all this... Yeah, like you did with our fucking tea, you heathens. Yeah, that's it, like, anything Americans don't want, fuck it in the sea. Fuck it in the sea, it's fine. Just like we did with the tea, you bastards.
He said in
Let them eat cheese, like some really shit Marie Antoinette. Just Reagan go around throwing blocks of cheese at homeless people.
a public address.
It's like, fuck the Cold War, fuck the Russians, have some cheese.
Adds Taco Bell cheesy crust, Taco Bell double steak quesadillas, and milk as part of a federal school lunch program. They even bailed Domino's out after the 2010 recession as part of an attempt to keep Americans eating cheese. Dairy
They literally bailed out Domino's so people would keep eating cheese. That's why Domino's made the 7-cheese pizza, because they were given all this fucking cheese by the American government. But this is where it is. The Springfield Underground. A Crafts Food Distribution Center. Here. Just under the Come and Go petrol station. Wow, that's a name. That's a brave name. So yeah, here it is. Springfield, Missouri. This is where the cheese cave is. The fool! I don't know how to get in! Like, I legit expected to see, like, fucking armed guards, like, protecting the government cheese. Look, you can see here, there's, like, rail tracks. That's because the actual, they have actual trains come in to dump and take stock. And it's just a massive, like, car park.